You all know I don't normally do 2 in a row with the same type of screen, but I thought this was cute with a slight variation. So how is everyone doing this morning? Well, this morning here in the Southern Caribbean. The title today I put as how alive do you feel right now? How alive do you feel right now? That is the question. Good morning, Adrienne. How are you, girl? So I have a slight variation, as I was just saying, on my screen changer, saver, picture, or whatever. I have no idea what they call it. When someone gives me a name that works, then I'll start to use it. But in the meantime, I just want to encourage everyone, I mean, really and truly, to let go. Because the things that we have on our minds, the things that we become almost obsessed about, the things that bother us, that we worry about, first of all, whatever is out of your control, whatever you cannot do anything about, you let it go. This is how I live my life. It doesn't really matter how pissed off I get. Doesn't really matter who I think is a shit. It doesn't really matter about pettiness and stuff that I observe. It doesn't really matter the idiocy of people's actions. It doesn't really matter what the fuck my opinion is. You know why? It is none of my business unless it impacts me. It really doesn't matter, particularly if I cannot do anything about it. And this is what we humans forget. So we become obsessed about all sorts of things, which actually is a cop-out. We do that all the time. We begin to focus on things that we cannot do anything about, that we cannot change, that we are powerless to change, in order to avoid the challenges, issues, concerns that we have in our personal lives. We all do it. We all do it. But I think coming to this time of the year, listen, today I may be saying things a bit differently because I am literally repeating the sentences that are appearing on my mind screen. We are coming to the time of year, and I have a process like the Chinese, where you have to get rid of everything that is not serving you in your life. You have to put them to bed. You write your concerns down on paper, all the anger, the whatever it is, and you burn it and you let it and you release it to source. It is a simple, it's a similar process. Like when you want something, you have a goal, objective, etc. You focus on the goal. You take the steps, you take the actions, you make sure that you have everything perfectly fleshed out. Really, really beautiful. You are very specific. You know your intention is clear. You know exactly what you want. You have it in black and white in front of you. You can actually picture that goal. Or you might even have a mood board, as they call it in the UK, or a vision board, as they call it in the US. And you have this picture clear in your mind. You are taking the action towards it, and what do you do next? You let it go. Because the more you hold on, yes, I'm coming back to my original statement, I'm making a point here. The more that you hold on to something that you want, is the more you strangle it. And the less freedom it has to bring it for the universe to bring it to you. You let it go. While you continue to take action and you take the steps to make it real, you let it go out to creator, source, the universe, infinite intelligence, whatever you want to call it. And it is exactly the same way. You see, all of the worries, the things, the worries, worry only seems to be necessary. That's what Eckhart Tolle says, and I agree. I should know. On the other hand, you see all those things that you're fussing about, you are carrying on about, you talk to other people endlessly about, you bitch about, etc. And yet, you cannot do anything about it. About them, I should say. Let them go. You will be surprised, very surprised, happily surprised at how alive you will feel, how much lighter you will feel when you let the crap go. It is very simple. That's part of the process that I use coming down to the end of each year. Another one that the Chinese have that I adopted is when you have debts. Now, it is true when you have a debt, particularly if it's a mortgage or something huge financial like that, you have to work around it to release or pay off what you can in order to lighten the burden. So if there is, but generally, I am debt free. I have paid all my debts. I have paid my emotional debts, in particular. The psychic debts I've gotten rid of. I got rid of those. So when things start weighing down on me, I come up with a process to release it. Or I talk to my guardian angels, my dragons, whoever it is, to get this shit out of the way. But the physical things, because we humans live in a physical world, anything that can relieve your financial burden, even if it is just one bill that's weighing on your mind, find a way to pay it. Find a way to pay it. If you cannot pay it off in full, pay off a part of it to lighten your mental burden. That too will make you feel alive. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, because we tend to carry too many burdens. And you see all these thoughts, our thoughts are thinking us. And I keep pointing my hand to my head because this is where we capture all the shit. This is where we capture it. We human beings live in a mind field. When we allow our thoughts to begin to run our lives, we are now walking through a minefield. It's very destabilizing. It's very disturbing. That creates a lot of anxiety. And as Rudy Hunter, a fantastic energy worker, loves to say, do you see that anxiety? That anxiety means that we are scared shitless. That was his pronunciation. So I'm using his Canadian pronunciation. Get rid of the anxiety. You can't identify what it is, which would be a lie. Sit down and write a list of all the things that are bothering you. Even if it is just one word. My right nostril just had a little sting there, just in the corner. That's interesting. Identify what it is, and then look at your list. Go down the list and ask yourself for each one, is there anything I can do about it? If no, cross it off your list. Keep going down the list until you cross off all of the things that you cannot do anything about. You will be amazed at how short that list becomes. Now listen, I don't know where all of this is coming from, because this was not in my mind at all. But this is the message that is coming to you all right now. It is time to lighten the burden. So first of all, you begin with the mental burden, because the mental affects the physical, and you go on from there. It's a simple process, and it will work if you do it, and it will make beautiful change in your life. You will definitely begin to feel more alive. And then do the Christmas. The word Christmas just popped into my head. I think Christmas is what? I don't pay any attention to the days. If there's something I don't celebrate, it's not on my radar. But the thing is here, I wonder why my screen changed. I like my flowers. Anyway, moving right along. Maybe I'm moving my head too much. Christmas. You see all the relatives and the other people that you feel obliged to see or visit or talk to. You can decide. You can make a decision now about the people that you are not going to interact with. However, if it is a family gathering or family group get-togethers, you must decide now, using the words, I accept to feel good about this. And whenever the person or persons come to mind whom you don't like, you don't get along with, they just get on your last nerve. They get drunk during the Christmas meals or anything like that, and you cannot avoid them either coming to your house, or you cannot avoid meeting them when you go to whoever house. Use the words, I choose to feel good about it when I meet, and you say the person's name, and you begin using that technique. And say it out loud. You must say it out loud. I learned this from Marissa Peer. Because what you are actually doing, you are telling your brain that it is okay in order for it to relax and begin to relieve the tension in your cells, in your memory. It's like this fucking cooking business. This is not something that I care for at all. I'm living in other people's house, so I clean. That takes away my time and energy for what's more important to me. However, to stop all the bitching and the complaints, because this is not my place, I began telling myself a long time ago, actually, because I was when I lived in the rehab center, I became the house mother 6 months in, but everybody had chores, including myself. I prefer to work outside, in the garden or whatever it is, but it's a lot of work. I began telling myself, I choose to do this, and I choose to be okay with doing this. I accept to do this, and I accept to do this joyfully.